Okay, everyone, try and come close enough to be able to look at the entrance wall to the church. Last ones, you can come a little closer. You don't have, there is wider area here. Oh. For the ones who are not familiar with the emblems on both sides of the gate, you might have heard about the Jerusalem cross. Okay, so you see that on the right side. On the left side, the emblem of the Franciscan order, the two arms, one of Jesus, one of St. Francis. And under it says St. John Baharim. Now, I know that you all know what St. John means, but what does Baharim means? Was that his family name?
The baptizer?
And it's very funny because they're using here phonetically spelling a Hebrew word without translating it, and the Hebrew word Baharim means in the mountains. So it looks like it's a family name or something, but it just means in the mountains. But instead of translating, they just phonetically spelled the Hebrew Baharim, which means in the mountains. So John's in the mountains. Decorated with plaques in different language, all of them having the same verses from the Bible. Zachariah's blessing after the birth of his son Yohanan, John. And instead of opening the Bible, in this case, we can just stand in front of the plaque in English, that is the common language for all of us, and we can even read it together. Ready? The church that we're going to visit is a modern church. 19th century in Israel, that's a modern church. Okay, it was built at the middle of the 19th century. It was built, though, on the same location of a Crusaders church and actually the same architectural design of the Crusaders church. And the Crusaders church was built on the same location where there was a Byzantine church, and the Byzantine church was built around a very small piece of bedrock that is pointed as one side of a room that was part of a house where John the Baptist was born at. The tradition is a little later tradition, not before the 9th or the 10th century. We have in writing the description of the birthplace of John the Baptist. The Byzantine church that was built here was built before that tradition became known around the area. But the Byzantine monastery was destroyed, like most of Christian institutes, at 614. When you visit the Holy Land, almost all the holy sites that you visit, first time ever that a church was built there was Byzantine era. Byzantine era began with Queen Helene, the mother of Constantine, 324. She built 3 churches, and following her 3 churches, in many other parts of the country, more churches were built. For the most, 614, those churches were demolished by Persians. There was a Persian invasion here that lasted only for 10 years. It's before they accepted Islam. There were Persians saw Christianity as their bitter enemy and destroyed almost all the Christian institutes. For the most, these churches were rebuilt under the Crusaders. Crusaders came here at 1099 with the official reason to liberate the holy sites from the hands of the Muslims. There were many other reasons, but those were the official reasons. And they rebuilt churches. And for the most, their churches were destroyed by the Muslims after the end of the Crusaders' kingdom that lasted in the country almost 200 years, but in Jerusalem less than 100 years. And then for the most, built in modern days. So this is a typical case to what we see all around the country, built first at Byzantine era. If you look through those openings, it's possible to see very little that was left of the Byzantine church, rebuilt by the Crusaders, that the design of today is similar to, and then rebuilt again, 19th century, this time supported by the royal family of Spain. So when you go into the church, it's very unusually decorated for Israel, very different than other churches in Israel, very much like churches in Spain. If any of you have been to Spain, the tiles, very much Spanish style, the paintings, Spanish artists.
Że zabrał daty ułożone prawowitą i to też musiał drogo opłacić. Dlatego o taką odwagę do życia w prawdzie pod wieloma względami prośmy za wstawiennictwo.
I my odpuszczamy naszym winowajcom i nie budź nas na pokuszenie, ale nas zbaw ode złego.
Święty Jan
Módl się za nami.
intencji wszystkich Janów, których Jan Chrzciciel jest patronem. Chwała Ojcu i
Synowi i Duchowi Świętemu, jak była na początku, teraz, zawsze i na wieki wieków. Amen.